I was adopted from South Korea at the age of 7 months old. I arrived to the United States by plane. I came on a plane full of babies in 1967. I was raised in California. I think these are... My mother and father were quite young when they adopted me. My father had been in the Navy. Something peach, and then my daughter said, "Oh, baby," my daughter told, when I was pregnant with my son, my daughter said, "Our baby is not going to be peach. Our baby." At age 25, I wanted to take a trip to Mexico. I was married and I had children, and I knew I needed to apply for a passport. I was in Houston at the time, and I waited in line for hours. When I got to the window to turn in my application, the paperwork that I had was insufficient, and I was told that I was not a U.S. citizen.
Completely, and that lasts a lifetime. Do you think this is because we think of adoptees as these other?
You know, I thought this was just a fluke. I was just a one-off. I had fallen through the cracks. The only baby photo that I have of myself at that certificate, aka passport from Korea to the United States. We grow up with American values. Our mindset is very American.
The post article.
Oh yes, I was looking for. And all of a sudden, you recognize that the government really isn't here for you, and so your feelings toward the government become confused.
Tell by your hair, right?
Yeah, I was about 7 months old when I came to the U.S.
I was a private adoption. It was basically the Iranian government and the United States government having an agreement that there was an orphan that needed a new home. So I was adopted into a military family. I arrived on a visitor's visa. It was a private adoption through the military, so that's how all of the children from Iran were coming in the United States.
We don't have the right thing.
And so they hold me accountable for being a visa overstay, and no matter how you look at the law, there's no way around that. It's my fault. The government says it's my fault.
White on.
When I turned 18, I was no longer an adoptee in the viewpoint of the U.S. government and immigration. I'm an immigrant. Pulled her aside and I was like, girl, I got immigration problems too. And so we just kind of powwowed and talked about it. And then recently, because the letter stated that my parents had an obligation to naturalize me before the age of 18. I was no longer an adoptee in the viewpoint of the U.S. government and immigration. I have asked the State Department, I've asked immigration, I've asked Congress, I've asked the Senate, my own senator, my congressman. I've asked them repeatedly for help, and everybody's just turned a blind eye to my situation.
Not all of the work that we've done is on here. Yeah. So much of it is not. In our district, asking, is Joy a citizen? What is Joy? What is her immigration status? We're aware that there were some groups of adoptees that were deported, and we don't know the size of those groups. You see here. Whether it's you're unable to apply and receive or be eligible for the various benefits that the government offers. So that could be anything from a driver's license to public health care, or even private health care if you can't prove your legal status. Bill, and now he emailed the presser from the press. And so we began to figure out ways to support those needs through funding and so on. Legal aid programs to find lawyers for adoptees, direct services really.
Because they won't give the child back to the African couple. And so there's a lot
Receiving my citizenship at this age is definitely bittersweet, although it alleviates a lot of fear that I might have for what the future holds. If an adoptee can get citizenship, they're going to do it, like myself. And
the government betrayed my dad too, you know, through adoption. They promised him that I was going to be an American, that he did what he needed to do to make me an American. And today they're not honoring any of those promises that were made to him or myself.